It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, with a review of Batwoman, Season 1, Episode 2, The Toilet Bowl. Oops, I'm sorry, I mean the rabbit hole. But no, the toilet bowl actually is where this show is clearly going, because it is even dumber than the episode which preceded it. I kid you not. It is completely insulting. So let's go ahead and get to the slideshow. So we start off with Kate and her father looking for lost sister Beth as a kid, before it transitions to the present day, where Jacob Kane is now effectively putting a death sentence, shoot to kill order on Alice/Beth and Trader Dodson. So yeah, this is pretty much where we are with this episode, because it's all over the place too. The crows set fire to a crow's fan that they've vandalized, saying we must burn the house down. There are, clearly mental people in anarchy. Batwoman watches the crows murder a member of the Wonderland gang in cold blood. This after she has beat up several members and put a battering in one. Then we cut to the Batcave, which is still mysteriously located under Wayne Enterprises, where Kate is looking at a photo of herself and her sister Beth before the crash. And yeah, this is pretty much a stone face that Kate has throughout much of the episode. It's really badly written. This, by the way, is the expression she has throughout this entire scene. Now, it's the next morning. She's trying to convince her father, Jacob, that Alice and Beth are the same person. Jacob says, no, we had DNA evidence from skull fragments that they found. Beth is dead. You need to get over it. Then we cut to Alice, who has commandeered a house, and the elderly owners are tied up, and she's ranting and raving about losing her favorite knife, which Batwoman has picked up from a crime scene. And Kate actually wants to perform a DNA test on the knife. Jacob's like, what's the point? Beth is dead. So Alice is losing it. Dodd's son is basically trying to talk some sense into her, stick to the mission, don't make it personal. Beth is like, it's always ever been personal, because again, they're telegraphing that she is Beth. So there's really no reason for this to be not personal. So Kate is back at the Batcave with the knife that's in a bag to prevent contamination, although it's probably already been contaminated, so even if you do a DNA test. But, then she goes ahead and talks shit to Luke, who is rightfully lecturing her on the responsibilities of being Batman, because, yeah, people think Batman is back, and Kate is treating it like just a means to an end. And Luke is like, okay, yeah, you need to treat this more seriously. Later on, Sophie confronts Kate over being Batman, which Kate stupidly denies, but she's a horrible liar, so Sophie doesn't really believe her, but, doesn't press the issue for some reason. So then Kate starts getting mopey, supposedly, over Sophie getting married, when the Wonderland gang apparently attacks and steals back the knife, which they could not possibly have known that Kate had in her possession. So, this is basically the reaction that Kate and Sophie have after the bad guys get away. Later on, Jacob is like, what the hell is going on here? And, you need to get your ass in gear and get over Beth being dead. Then later, Kate goes ahead and gets a lecture from Mary for walking into her free clinic unannounced and knocking on the door, basically announcing the presence. And Kate then goes ahead and takes a wounded member of the Wonderland gang, who had the battering left in him, lets him go with a message, waffles, which supposedly Beth would understand if she is truly Alice, which she is, because it's telegraphed. Meanwhile, Jacob mysteriously knows exactly where the Wonderland gang is holed up, this despite no indication whatsoever of any information getting to him that they are holed up where they are. So then later, Kate meets Alice/Beth at a park, where she has a flashback to when she was a kid, shortly after Beth's disappearance, and blaming herself for failing to rescue her sister, while a de-aged Dougray Scott tries to comfort her. Then we cut to the house, which shows the owners having been murdered, their throats cut. Sophie confronts Jacob over how he knows they were here, and he says that this was a house that this used to be my house, so this is a house that Kate and Beth grew up in. Sophie rightly asks, "Are you sure you don't think that Beth and Alice are the same person?" And Jacob, of course, denies it because reasons. Then Kate meets Alice/Beth at the park, where she basically teases the living daylights out of her, like, am I Beth, am I not? Kate gets a text message from Mary, and this is actually a thing where they show the text message. They don't cut to a shot of the cell phone screen saying it's from Mary. No, they have to do this little CGI thing, which is really stupid. This is pretty much the face that Kate makes throughout the entire show. And she only seems to have resting bitch face or, like, what the fuck face. So I don't know. She and Beth are trading barbs, and the crows show up with Jacob out of nowhere because they mysteriously knew to show up here for no reason. I kid you not. And Kate is like, what the fuck? I didn't... Look, you have to believe me, I had no idea this was going to happen. Yeah, but why? Because, oh my god, I mean, it's just, there's no point to any of this. So, Kate confronts Sophie over this and her father. Blames Sophie for spilling the beans, but there's no indication that she told Sophie. So then Alice/Beth gives this cryptic warning about not liking to share things, including her sister. So Dodson shows up at the free clinic, which apparently everyone knows about because, again, it's not exactly a big secret here. And then tries to murder Mary because apparently Beth doesn't like to share her sister with someone else, namely the stepfamily. So Dodson takes his sweet time trying to kill Mary, who stabs him with the batarang, and then Batwoman shows up and beats the living shit out of Dodson and disappears. Meanwhile, the van taking Alice/Beth to Arkham mysteriously blows up on the bridge, and this sends Batwoman into action because it reminds her of the crash from 15 years ago when she lost her sister, so she has to go back and try and do it right this time. So, yeah, the van sinks in there with Alice in there, but Alice/Beth apparently does not drown, even though she's trapped underwater unconscious and supposedly no air. So how she actually is alive at this point, I don't know. But then Kate as Batwoman shows up with a rebreather that lets her breathe underwater and gives it to Beth/Alice, which revives her with no apparent ill effects. And, oh yeah, Batwoman displays her ability to breathe underwater without the rebreather, so why did she even need it to begin with? Because, yeah, oh, and then the crows shoot the van, which causes it to explode. Again, completely stupid because this shouldn't be able to happen underwater. So the two are separated once more. Kate washes up on shore, apparently unconscious, but alarms kicking in at the Batcave and the Bat computer, and Lucas like, oh yeah, how do I restart her heart? Oh yeah, here's a defibrillator. I kid you not, this is actually her reaction when she revives. Not or expelling water or anything like that. No, she just opens her eyes, resting bitch face, and disappears. Then later on, she goes to Mary at the free clinic, and Mary bitches her out for putting her and her clinic in danger, which is not unreasonable. So then Kate goes to Jacob and starts berating him over everything, and Jacob's like, look, Beth is dead, get over it. But he's not totally convinced, and, you know, then Kate, of course, distracts from his very legitimate criticisms by bringing up the past and him not accepting who she is, even though he's actually already said, no, I always have accepted who you were, I just don't want you getting hurt. And then Kate confronts Sophie over everything, and Sophie tells her, look, I'm not in love with you anymore. And Kate's like, okay, fine, whatever, because resting bitch face. And then Luke, of course, lectures her again on being Batman and the responsibility that comes with it, and she blows it off. And then we get a cryptic scene at the end where Catherine, Kate's stepmother, has a discussion with some flunky. Apparently she was behind the Wonderland attack in the garage and has the knife destroyed. Then we cut to Batwoman torturing Dodson for information, which, again, kind of destroys Batman mythos because Batman is supposed to be above this. And yet here Kate is torturing a helpless prisoner to try and get information out of him. Then Beth sends Kate an apparently dead bat. I say apparently because, one, it's rubber, it's not really alive, but then its CGI revives and flies off. But basically she says, yeah, I know you're Batwoman. So, yeah, because Kate is not exactly being very subtle about being Batwoman. So why Jacob doesn't actually know this is beyond me. Maybe he's just in denial, but who knows. So, yeah, that's pretty much the episode. Again, the writing here is all over the place. That there are cheats in here that really should not exist. It is... I mean, it's arguably worse than the episode that came before it. Nothing in here makes even one bit of sense. You're expected to just accept stuff without any of it being addressed within the episode. I mean, it doesn't take much. Just a throwaway line of dialogue explaining something, or someone coming in and say, hey, we got intel, a security camera caught them going to this place, so yeah, that's how he knows where they are. Maybe I missed it, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it. There's no indication for why Jacob should know where everything is. And there's no reason at this point why he should continue to deny that Alice and Beth are the same person, despite the alleged DNA evidence, because, bone fragments don't necessarily mean squat. Maybe she got brain damage, left a few bits of her skull there, but otherwise survived. But, at this point, they're telegraphing that Alice and Beth are the same person, despite her trying to be cryptic about it, but everything she knows, combined with her vendetta against Jacob Kane, specifically, and the Crows, indicates that, yeah, she wouldn't be doing this if she didn't believe she was actually Beth. So, why are you trying to create confusion about something you've already telegraphed in the opening episode, and now you're continuing this, and it's like, dude, why? We figured it out already. You're insulting our intelligence here. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to do 2 more reviews of this and then I'm done, because I just cannot recommend a show that so blatantly insults the intelligence of the viewer and expects you to lap it up and treat it as though it's like the next best thing since the last best thing. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm full of it? Do you think I'm not? Let me know in the comments. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Hit the like button, share the video. If you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or Subscribe Star page. We can't do this without you. I'm also doing a fundraiser on GoFundMe for upgraded equipment. Can't do this without you. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for the Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.